noise! Who's been here with us all day? Let me hear you scream! Oh, we're about to have a good time on this stage, ladies and gentlemen. Since opening in 2012, the Warner Brothers Studio Tour London, the making of Harry Potter has welcomed millions of visitors from all over the world. The attraction features the actual sets, props, and costumes from the film series and allows visitors to experience from behind the scenes the detailed work of the cast and crew who worked for over 10 years. Check out this video.
My name is Paul Harris and I was the battle scenes choreographer in Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I'm just preparing for my trip to the celebration of Harry Potter in Orlando. I'm definitely going to need my wand, so I'm heading to the studios just outside London where all the movies were filmed. It's very exciting because Warner Brothers have preserved all the key sets, costumes and props, and now have them on permanent display in the Warner Brothers Studio Tour London, the making of Harry Potter. I can't wait to see everything again.
Hi Paul, how can I help?
How do you know my name?
Well, we know everything about the Harry Potter films here.
Well, I'm going to the Harry Potter celebration. I need my wand.
Follow me. We have all the original sets, props, and costumes, so shouldn't be a problem at all. So Paul, welcome to Hogwarts.
I have a few started term notices.
When I call your name, you will come forth at your place of social care. It took the animal trainers over 6 months to train the owls to deliver Wizard Post. And the props department actually created lightweight brooms such as the ones that you've got here, and the owls actually deliver these in the Great Hall.
Paul! Come this way, there's so much more to see.
So are these the actual props used in the film?
Everything was 100% used in the film.
It's really amazing.
So the Great Hall ceiling is in fact this model that we've got here.
Bellatrix's teeth, can you see those? She wore these for filming. Obviously, Bellatrix has spent a lot of time in Azkaban, so I don't think she would have had a toothbrush.
Coming up to the Gryffindor boys' dormitory.
The staff here are incredible. They're so enthusiastic. I'm here for my wand. And they seem to really enjoy sharing their knowledge.
Ones that belong to all the principal cast members.
Potions.
Yes, indeed.
It's absolutely amazing. It's incredible. Green screen played a big part when it came to riding broomsticks. I couldn't resist having a go. So now let's try move number... Wait a second. This guy looks familiar. Most of the exterior scenes were actually sets especially built for the film. And guess what? A lot of them are right here on the back lot. Ollivanders, that reminds me, I'm here to get my wand. Wow, that's a lot of wands. Where am I going to start?
Hi Paul, can I help you with anything?
Well, I'm looking for my wand, actually.
Well, there are quite a few wands in here. There's a wand box for every single cast and crew member that worked on the Harry Potter films. That's over 4,000 wands.
I finally got what I came for. Plus a few things I didn't. This has been a fantastic experience for me. I brought back a lot of happy memories. And I wasn't alone. Everyone seemed to be really enjoying this amazing experience.
It was amazing. Like, I just saw everything. It was
Brilliant. I loved every bit of it.
It's amazing. I love it.
It's one of these things that I never ever thought I'd get to experience, and I got to experience it.
I'll never forget it, like my whole life.
Being here really, it just makes you feel as if you're a part of it. It's magical.
It's great to know that the Harry Potter film series lives on for all of us, right here where it was all created. Now let me just see if I've still got what it takes.
From London, the wand choreographer, Paul Harris.
There's more stuff! That's it, I'm afraid. Good afternoon, everyone. Oh, good evening, I should say. Hi, well, my name's Paul Harris. I was the choreographer that devised and created the physical language for fighting with the wand that subsequently became known as wand combat. Which apparently makes me the world's only wand combat choreographer. And as such, as you saw at the Warner Brothers studio tour in London, there is an interactive station where people can, you know, duel with me interactively. Oh, and as a point, for those of you that weren't here the other day, a piece of important information from Warner Brothers Studio Tour London is that from March of this year, the actual steam locomotive that was the Hogwarts Express will be permanently on display as part of the tour. So, well, just to give you a tiny little bit of background about this before I move on with this workshop. And by the way, how many of you have been to this workshop before? Okay, a few, so not that many. That's great, actually. Okay. Well, as I mentioned to you, the director David Yates identified when he took over from Order of the Phoenix onwards that a physical language, a grammar for fighting with the wand needed to be created, because up to that point, all of the spells that have been delivered have been done so with an accompanying vocalization of the spell. But we knew that what was coming had to have a physical element leading up to some wizards not even needing a wand. For example, at the end of Order of the Phoenix, Voldemort disarms Harry without even a wand. So the question was, what makes someone a better wizard than another? It's not just because they bought a more expensive wand. You know, there had to be some element that made them better than another wizard, and that element was obviously physical. So, to cut a long story very short, David initially asked me to do one movement for one spell from a very intricate storyboard. A storyboard is a set of drawings that is done for a movie which will show a piece of action. And in my case, a choreographer would have to create movements following the storyboard if possible. So I went away and I reread the books and watched all the movies again with a different eye, because this time obviously I knew I was going to be working on them. And I went back and I said to David, I can't do what you want me to do because every spell that J.K. Rowling has written has already been delivered with little or no physical action. But putting all of the circumstances together, who's done magic, who's about to do magic, the scale, the power of the wizard, what I can do is create a language, a technique in the same manner as ballet or kung fu or anything else, a set of positions from which spells could be fired or defended, and providing I can get to all the positions that I need to get to choreographically, then I'm sure it will work. So that is ultimately what happened, and the first example of that was the Veil Room battle that ended up in the death of Sirius Black and the epic battle between Voldemort and Dumbledore in the atrium. Have you all seen that? Well, something of great significance and something that was fantastic for me to learn about coming here today is that I have, obviously, as you see, there's another chair set, and so someone who was very significant in this is here with me today, and the reason that she was significant is because the very first spell that was delivered on, or shown being delivered on the storyboard from within my remit was delivered by the character of Luna Lovegood. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome Ivana Lee! Hi Ivana, do you remember that first class we had?
I do, yeah. Yeah, because I remember, it was all still very new to me, the whole film experience, being in Harry Potter, everything. And it was on the call sheet that day, one training. And I was just like, whoa, it's real. This is like, it just was funny because I hadn't imagined that we'd actually have to, because as you say, it wasn't in any of the other films that they had to choreograph anything. So I, as a fan, hadn't even realized that there would be training for this. So yeah, they took me out of tutoring for one training, swapped maths for spells. And yeah, I remember it was like a dance class, and I was delighted because I love dancing. And he taught me the 5 moves. And
well, David, the director David Yates referenced dancing quite a lot. In his mind was the fact that it needed to be, in essence, like graceful and like a ballet. And I remember a phrase that he used was, it's a very kind of British phrase, but he said, they're 600-year-old wizards, they can't be having a punch-up. You know, it has to be beautiful and it has to be aesthetically graceful. And I was very fortunate to have people like you who were so good at it.
And you also wanted to show, because I remember you showed us the moves, but you were like, but you're still a student, you don't have to be that good. Because you had to show like there's development, and each sort of witch and wizard had a different style, and maybe wouldn't be as skilled as a lot of the old ones.
Yeah, and that was something else. It was very important that whatever we came up with was personable by each character, so that they could adapt it for the style of movement of their characters. Obviously, characters like Luna or Hermione, they had different ways of moving and different ways of delivering a spell, and so I didn't want to impose upon that.
You had, for Dumbledore then, you had a special move, didn't you? So you worked quite extensively with Michael Gambon on developing those moves.
Yeah, well, on the storyboard there were 2 drawings that really kind of gave me an into the entire thing. And one of those was the rope of fire. Do you recall that, guys? Well, this movement was shown on the storyboard with the character of Dumbledore in this position. And it's almost identical to a dance movement that you normally do with another person, called a rope spin, where you spin the person around your back. And so that gave me a real and Michael obviously delivered that. And the other one was this movement with the shards of glass being fired forward. I took that from a classical Spanish dance movement called the banderillas, where it's mimicking the final killing of the bull in a bullfight. So both of those 2 movements were dance related and helped me find the key to it.
Did they pick up the moves quickly? Because I know, Dumbledore and then Bellatrix and Sirius, they all had quite complicated things.
They did. Well, Gary Oldman was quite keen on being involved in the development of it, and he was fantastic and very forthcoming with ideas, and it was just brilliant. But I understand, I want to ask you this, because I haven't had a chance to ask you. I understand that you had sort of say in the choosing of your wand and your earrings and your costume.
Because everything they wanted our input, and they really trusted us, and that was always David Yates' outlook on it, that each individual knew their character better than anyone else, so he would never tell you what to do. He would always ask for your input. And so the wands, they came with a selection of 5 or 6 and laid them out, and I saw this one with the acorns and I picked that. So this has been my wand. This is my wand for number 5 and number 6. And then on number 7 she gets kidnapped. This, I assume, gets snapped, and she gets this other wand, which she uses in battle. And